All right, we're going to look at the chain assembly, the chain tensioner, the gears, and of course the motor if you did have a motor failure. The only reason to take a unit this far apart is probably for a motor failure or a chain tensioner failure. Almost everything else can be got to from the outside. You can actually change the motor from the outside, but it's so simple to pull the entire assembly, it's not really that much of a challenge. So if you notice, this is spring-loaded. Sorry. So if you notice, this is spring-loaded. And what this does is it wraps past this part of the chain and makes sure that the tension on the chain stays tight so it doesn't jump off the tracks here. One of the things that we want to make sure is that all this is lined up. If it's not lined up, we're going to get into that in a minute, so we can adjust this assembly on the shaft to make sure that this is lined up as straight as it can be. If it's offset, sometimes you can get a noise of the chain hitting the outside chain guard, or which you can also see down here, the chain guard. Also, if this happens to be bent or the spring is lost, your chain will start jumping. We haven't had a failure on one of these. Sometimes if this nut comes loose or these bearings wear out, then you can start getting some kind of odd noises, a clicking noise sometimes. But anyway, you got to make sure that the chain tensioner is on. If you're taking the chain off, you can simply loosen the motor up, or sometimes you can just release the chain tensioner and it's enough chain slack in order for you to get it off the teeth here in case you have a chain failure. But basically, going back to the construction of the coolers, this is the stage you would need to get to if you needed to change the tensioner or the motor.